Kingsley Iniovosa. We begin from Nigeria. The Nigerian government, through the Minister of Power, Adebayo Adelabo, has ordered the immediate replacement of age equipment as part of the recommendations to stop the resistant collapse of the national grid. Adelabo assures that the replacement will be achieved in 6 months. A special advisor to the Minister of Strategic Communications and Media, Bolaji Tunji, in the statement says the Power Minister also directed the Transmission Company of Nigeria and all other relevant agencies of the ministry to begin the immediate implementation of the recommendations of the interagency committee set up to address the instant grid collapses in the power sector. The minister's marching order came as the CCN reported that the national grid experienced a disturbance at approximately 11:29 a.m. yesterday. The development, which is the second this week and the 12th time in the last 11 months. Botswana's new president, Duma Boko, said the once undocumented Zimbabweans to be legalized by granting them temporary work and residence permits. Speaking to newsmen before his historic inaugurations today, Boko said the Zimbabweans do jobs that would otherwise not get done. Botswana hosted the world's second largest community of Zimbabweans fleeing their country's economic woes. They are often represented with deportations taking place daily. The decision is not likely to be popular in the diamond-rich southern African nation, but Boko, a 54-year-old who has just unseated the ruling party that was in power for 58 years, and said it was part of his plans to revive the economy. Vladimir Putin has congratulated Donald Trump on his election victory, calling him a courageous man. Speaking at an event in the Russian city of Sochi, the Russian president says that Trump was hounded from all sides during his first time in the White House. Also said that Trump's claim that he can help end the war in Ukraine deserves attention at least. Records during this campaign, Donald Trump repeatedly said he could end the war in a day, but has never elaborated on how that could happen. Meanwhile, the U.S. President-elect Donald Trump has announced his campaign manager, Susan Samara, whilst will serve as his White House chief of staff when he takes over the presidency next year. In a statement, Trump said whilst who helped him achieve one of the greatest political victories in American history is tough, smart, innovative, and is universally admired and respected. While 67 years is the first woman to be appointed White House Chief of Staff. The Trump's transition team is currently working to choose top members of the incoming Republican administration, including the heads of all 15 executive departments, such as the Secretaries of State and Defense from 20 January 2025. Still in the United States, authorities are investigating reports of black people across the country receiving text messages involving slavery following Donald Trump's victory in the presidential election. The racist text messages have been reported by people in more than a dozen U.S. states, including California, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Michigan, North Carolina, Virginia, and Alabama. According to reports and social media posts, the wording of the messages varies but follows the same basic script of telling the recipients they have been selected to pick cotton at the nearest plantation. Global Box is reaching you live from Adamimogo 107.7 FM Ido-Ekiti. Still to come, 2 dead, 12 missing after fishing boat sinks off South Korea. Please stay with us.
Is here with us again. Oh yes, Adamimogo 107.7 FM Idoikiti is using this medium to inform and invite children, parents, heads of nursery, primary and secondary schools, churches and individuals wishing to sponsor children and be a part of our 2024 Father Christmas show beginning from 2nd to 24th December 2024. Come and let's revel in the season of love and giving. It promises to be fun-filled. Our Father Christmas will arrive from Rome and be seated at his grotto in our station to receive children, dance and play with them. There are lots of take-home goodies and gifts from Father Christmas, as well as toys and play gadgets to make children's visit interesting, long-lasting and memorable. For further inquiries, please contact Desmond Olaoluwa on 0806 511 4430 or Bayo Babalola on 0803 562 5812. Adamimogo 107.7 FM Idoikiti 2024 Father Christmas show promises to be exciting.
Welcome back. Thanks for joining us again. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Facebook via Adamimogo 107.7 FM. For happenings around your news inquiries, please contact our newsroom on this number 0811-801-8242. Now the rest of the bulletin. A senior official at COP29 climate change conference in Azerbaijan appears to have used his roles to arrange a meeting to discuss the potential for C4 disease, the BBC can report. The secretary recording shows the chief executive of Azerbaijan's COP29 team, Enon Sultanov, discussing investment opportunities in the state oil and gas company, with a man posing as a potential investor. Also, a former head of the UN body responsible for the climate talks told reporters that Sultanov's actions were completely unacceptable and a betrayal of the COP process. Meanwhile, Azerbaijan's COP29 team has not responded to a request for comments. At least 2 people are dead and 12 others missing after a fishing boat capsized off the coast of South Korea. According to the Korean Coast Guard today, the 120-ton German song sank about 24 kilometers, 50 miles off the resort island of Jeju after leaving the port of Singapore to catch mackerel late yesterday. The official says the crew on board included 16 South Koreans and 11 foreigners, 2 of whom are accounted for. On entertainment, Argentinian authorities have said 3 people have been charged in connection with the death of One Direction star Liam Payne. The singer died on 16 October after falling from the 3rd floor balcony of a hotel in Buenos Aires. According to the National Criminal and Correctional Prosecutor's Office, one person who accompanies the artist has been charged with abandonment of a person followed by death and the supply and facilitation of drugs. Also, the hotel employee and a 3rd person have also been charged with supplying drugs. None of those arrested have been named. And on sport, Dutch police have arrested 57 people in the center of Amsterdam after clashes broke out reportedly involving young locals and Israeli football supporters. Record supporters of Israeli club Maccabi Tel Aviv had traveled to Amsterdam for the Europa Cup match against Ajax. Meanwhile, the Prime Minister Dick Schoof has condemned attacks on Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said 2 rescue planes were being sent to Amsterdam after the Israel's military described as severe and violent incidents against Israelis. Also, the police spokeswoman told journalists that unrest had broken out around Dam Square in the heart of the capital, but did not say who was involved. With our sports story, we end this edition of Global Box on Adamimogo 107.7 FM Olojudo's Palace, Idoikiti. Before we go, the highlights again. That's in Nigeria, the Nigerian government, through the Minister for Power Adebayo Adelabo, has ordered the immediate replacement of aged equipment as part of the recommendations to stop the easing collapse of the national grid. We also told you that U.S. President-elect Donald Trump has announced his campaign manager, Susan Samara Wiles, will serve as his White House chief of staff when he takes over the presidency next year. finally, we brought it to you that at least 2 people are dead and 12 others missing after the fishing boat capsized off the coast of South Korea. That's Global Box on Adamimogo 107.7 FM, Olojudo's Paris, Edo Ekiti, on behalf of the production crew led by Oladonya Yebusi. My name is Kingsley Iniovosa. Good afternoon.